Lorcana code. This is my video. Yeah.
Alright guys, we're jumping right into the first match here. Sorry, let me clear my throat. We're going to ink the Merlin Rabbit. We're going to ink the Merlin Goat. And we are also going to ink nothing. We're going to keep the Prince, Robin Hood. Well, we're going to keep what we kept. And we're going to ink the Prince. We're going to play the Robin Hood. And we're going to pass the turn. All right, our opponent inks World's Greatest Criminal Mind. They play the Cinderella. We draw the Merlin Rabbit. We're going to quest out with Robin Hood. And we are going to ink the Madam Mim. So it looks like our opponent is Steel Song with their first turn Cinderella. This is not a particularly good matchup for us. We're gonna have to hope that they don't draw exceptionally well and that we draw a little bit better than they do. They drop a Smee, and now they're going to Strength of a Raging Fire our Robin Hood. They are off to a great start. We have we draw our third Benja, which is unfortunate. We ink it. No, we draw our second Benja. We ink it and we play the Prince. We pass the turn. Having to ink Benja there shows them that we have Benja in our deck, so now they might be a little hesitant to play Sleepy's Flute. They're going to ink Robin Hood. And they're going to play their on-curve Ariel. So far they've gone Cinderella, Smee into Ariel. That's how you draw it up. That's what you want if you're Steel Song. And they get Let the Storm Rage on from Ariel. Not super helpful for them right now. Doesn't do much against the Prince. But that in combination with Smee will actually kill the Prince. So it's not terrible either. We are going to quest with the Prince. That might be a mistake. We're going to play the Merlin Rabbit, and we're going to draw a card. We probably should have quested with the Prince, played the Mim Fox, and killed the Cinderella. But I think I was a little frustrated at this point, playing Steel Song and having them go Cinderella, Smee into Ariel. That is my bad. And if I was going to play the Rabbit, then I shouldn't have attacked with the Prince. All right, he plays Sleepy Flute. We do have an answer for that in our hand. He Strength of a Raging Fires, the Merlin Rabbit. So we know actually that he has a whole new world when he does that. We draw into a Robin Hood. He plays the whole new world. And this game is essentially over. We should have played our last turn differently. However, this is, like I said, this isn't a favorable matchup, and he's just drawn everything. So here we should kill the Smee. We unfortunately didn't get a goat. I mean, unfortunately we didn't get a fox, so we can't kill the Ariel. We can't really do much of anything. We're going to play a Robin Hood, potentially, and pass the turn. We can play a Goat and a Maleficent. We can play an Arthur and a Cusco. There's a lot of different options. I'm sure I didn't pick the right one. Although I think probably I did, because we need to be able to clear some of his guys off the board. But I would give our odds of winning this game at this point about 1%, maybe less. So our opponent is thinking. They're going to play Ariel. They are going to draw a Let the Storm Rage on with Ariel. They can now kill the Prince with it. They have the Zeus, so they're actually going to target Robin Hood and Let the Storm Rage on. So they kill the Robin Hood. They draw a card. It has gone from bad to worse to even worse. Our prince is dead. And they're going to gain a lore from Sleepy's Flute, I suppose. Yep, there's the lore. And he's going to cast Bare Necessities. I have 2 targets for Bare Necessities in my entire deck. I happen to have one in my hand. So a 1 in 30 chance, and he hits it because that is just the way this game is going. Not that that card would have had any relevance in this game anyway. We just dump as many cards out as we can because we just have to hope that he doesn't have a Grab Your Swords or a bunch of answers so that we can come back in this game. He has a Cinderella that he shifts onto other Cinderella, which, you know, this all goes back to me, I think, not killing the Cinderella, but I still don't see us winning that game. Anyway, we lose. He wins. We're going on to game 2. And we are on the play, which is good. We are going to ink the rabbit. We're going to ink the spell book. And we probably should have inked maybe the Arthur. I don't know. We did draw an Arthur. So now we have 2 Arthurs. I mean, we have the Maleficent turn 1, Pinocchio turn 2, Arthur turn 3, Goat turn 4. So I don't actually mind our keep. It sucks that we drew the second Arthur for off our mulligan. Now we're going to draw Robin Hood. We're going to ink it. We're going to play the Pinocchio, and then we're just going to pass the turn. Our opponent draws their card. And he will ink Robin Hood. It's hard when the opponent acts slow to commentate these matches. He's going to shift the queen. And he is going to sing Strength of a Raging Fire on Pinocchio. And he's off to one of those good starts again. We are going to ink the Prince, as he's no longer any good here. We're going to play the Arthur, and we're going to pass the turn. So we're still not out of this game yet. We have to hope that just our opponent slows down, but he doesn't. He plays an aerial. He gets Let the Storm Rage on. He's going to a long game Zeus, the Arthur, and this game is pretty much over too. We are going to ink a Merlin Goat. We're going to play a Merlin Goat, and we're going to pass the turn. Our opponent's going to draw their card. They are going to think long and hard what to do with their 4 cards. Choice can't be that hard. Okay, let the storm rage on. I think I could have made that decision in about half a second. But they'll kill my Maleficent. They'll draw a card. They'll go back to thinking for 9 minutes again. They will ink Strength of a Raging Fire. And they will play a Robin Hood. They will sing Along Came Zeus. Our goat is dead. We will gain a lore. And we will draw a Maleficent. We will play the Arthur and the Maleficent. We will pass the turn. They will draw their card. Again with these very long, deep thought turns with... I mean, I'm sure his play is going to be very obvious once we see the cards come out. Maybe he's, I don't know. All right, so he grabs your swords. And then he sings A Whole New World. We both draw a new hand. He inks the queen. It's hard watching this back. He plays Sleepy's Flute. He plays a queen. And he quests for 1. And then he will gain a lore with Sleepy's Flute. And our Arthur lives to see another day. We're going to ink the Cusco. We are going to play a Pinocchio. I think. Yes, we are going to quest with the Arthur. We are going to return the Pinocchio. We are going to play the Fox. We are going to return the Arthur. And we are going to kill the Queen. And then we are going to pass the turn. Our opponent is way ahead. They play a Robin Hood. They are even more ahead now. They ink a Queen. And they will quest for 3 lore, it looks like. And then they will pass the turn. Alright, we're going to ink the Hercules. He's not good anymore because of Robin Hood. We'll play a Smee, and we will play a Pinocchio. So now we're just hoping that he does not have another Grab Your Swords. Or 3 removal cards, or God only knows what. I mean, he's drawn effectively perfect. Now he inks the Bare Necessities. I don't know what encouraged him to play it last game. He draws a Cinderella. He quests with Robin Hood. He quests with Queen. He quests with Robin Hood. And with Ariel, he will also quest. He'll pass the turn. All right, we're gonna gain some lore here. Not that it really matters. Probably dead next turn. So we can't gain lore. We kill the Ariel. I should probably just be conceding here. I know it seems silly, but he's got 7 lore and a Sleepy's Flute next turn. I guess we can... But we really can't do anything. This game at this point should be unwinnable. We'll play the Prince, and we will play an Arthur. And we will hope that our opponent does something incredibly stupid. I assume that they won't. They draw their card. They kill my Smee. They gain 2 lore. They play a Rapunzel. They draw 3 cards. Here's another point where I should just concede. Let's see if I do it. Nope, they ink a Benja. They play a Queen. And here's another opportunity where I can just concede. Along came Zeus on the Arthur, and that will trigger my concede response. Alright guys, we are back at it again. We just came off 2 match losses to Steel Song, so we are on a 2-game losing streak. We are now up against a different opponent. We're going to mulligan the Spellbook. We should probably also mulligan the Merlin Rabbit, but we keep it. We draw a Maleficent. Our hand is 3 inkables, 4 non-inkables. This could get a little hairy. My opponent plays Robin Hood, passes turn. We draw the Cusco.
Like Cusco,
it's inkable. That is good. We then decide to ink the Cusco and play the Pascal and pass the turn. All right, we have a turn 1 Pascal. We're on the draw. We are against Steel and Amethyst. All right. He goes Robin Hood into Blue Fairy. Blue Fairy's not such a big deal. We're going to swing out with the Pascal. Although the Blue Fairy can trade with the Pascal. Although that's a trade we welcome. We're going to play the Maleficent and the Maleficent. That is our most... that puts 4 more lore on the board as opposed to just 3 from the Pinocchio. We want to try to get those in for as much damage as we can before a Grab Your Swords or something like that. However, if he goes Robin Hood into Grab Your Swords, we are in a world of hurt. But being on the draw against a fairly decent opening from our opponent, we kind of want to get a little greedy, try to catch up, hope that maybe he just doesn't have it. He plays the Robin Hood. He gets to draw off the Blue Fairy. He does not have Grab Your Sword, so he quests for 2. That is a good sign for us. We unfortunately draw a spell book there, and we are going to quest with the Pascal. We are going to quest with both Maleficents, I believe would be the correct play. We play the Pinocchio, and we just pass the turn. I think we should have inked the Hercules, but I understand why we didn't, because we need 4 to play the Merlin. I don't know, we should have inked the Hercules there. It's unfortunate that we didn't draw another inkable, but I think not inking the Hercules there is a mistake. And now he plays the Jafar. The Hercules is certainly no good anymore. And we will draw the Mim Snake. So we attack with Pascal, we attack with Pinocchio, we play the Mim Snake, return the Pinocchio. Now we will ink the Hercules. Us not inking the Hercules last turn ends up not mattering at all. So that is fortunate, I suppose. Our opponent draws, and our opponent will ink the Robin Hood. It's kind of scary that he's inking Robin Hood there, because that must mean he has something very good. He has Jafar. Honestly, I think just playing Robin Hood, just straight playing Robin Hood would have been better for him. Like, I get it, he wants to go for the combo, but it's totally not even necessary. We have a decision to make here. We unfortunately drew another rabbit, which is not inkable, so we can just play the Pinocchio. We would have liked to have played a rabbit there, or 2 Pinocchios, probably 2 Pinocchios. But we drew the Pinocchio. No, wait, we drew the rabbit. I don't know. Things are not looking great for us with all these uninkables. He is able to get rid of the Pinocchio. He is able to a whole new world. This is the 5th game or 3rd match where a whole new world just eats us alive. He plays the Pinocchio, tapping our Mim. He kills it with Robin Hood and gets to gain 2 lore. This game is very much over. We concede, and we are moving on to game 2. We're already down 41 yellow points after losing the last 2 games. One of the downsides to having a high yellow score is when you lose, it hurts. Alright, we're going first. What are we going to ink? We should probably ink one of the foxes, but we just decide to keep it, which I can get behind. The hand is actually pretty good. We have lots of inkables. We have lots of relevant cards. He plays a Captain Hook. That is a good play for him. We draw the Robin Hood. We just ink the Robin Hood. We play the Pinocchio, and we pass the turn. We're kind of hoping our opponent doesn't do much here. They ink the Yzma. They play the Pinocchio. Oh my god. They kill our Pinocchio. And now we draw Maleficent. We attack Maleficent, or we quest with Maleficent for 2 lore. We get rid of the Hercules. Probably should have gotten rid of the goat. We play the Mim to return the Maleficent. And we kill the Captain Hook. And then we pass the turn. Yeah, I think getting rid of the goat there would have been better. He plays a Merlin Crab, of course. He just has the right card at the right time. The whole time. I play the Maleficent. I play another Maleficent. And I pass the turn. Our opponent plays a Blue Fairy. They sing Strength of Rage and Fire to get rid of one of our Maleficents. They ink a Benja. I draw a Arthur. I'm going to quest with the Maleficent. Things aren't looking so bad here. He only has 2 cards. I guess we're kind of hoping neither of them are a whole new world. But as is, I kind of like where this game is currently. But that can all change depending on what 3 cards are in his hand. He's keeping the anticipation. He's building the suspense. What is he going to do? It's a real nail biter. He's going to take his time. He's going to think things through. He's going to make the best decision that he can under these circumstances. I don't know if I can just keep talking as he... Okay, there we go. He is going to quest for one more. And now we are back playing the waiting game. I'm pretty sure the 3 cards in his hand have not changed in the last 5 minutes. Alright, he just quests with Merlin and passes the turn. I don't really understand what's going on. Why that was what he did. Maybe he timed out. I'm not really sure. We just get 2 Lauren and we play the goat. We could have played the Arthur. I kind of like playing the goat there. However, if we play Arthur and ink goat, then we have enough ink for the Pinocchio. But the Pinocchio can really only target his blue fairy. Or maybe my Maleficent, but the Maleficent's going to die. So yeah, I wouldn't have done that. We draw a rabbit, which we're going to play. We're hoping to get an inkable here. We just don't. We are debating killing the Merlin. The Merlin crab, which I think is the right thing to do. We can trade the goat, I guess, for it. We probably should have traded the snake for it. But the snake is better with Arthur. So we're going to try to keep the snake alive to do our little Arthur snake, Arthur snake, Arthur snake, Arthur snake. Try to close up the game. He inks Tinkerbell, leaving himself with 6 ink. He must have something. No, he just inks Tinkerbell. So he has 3 uninkables in his hand. He could just have 3 whole new worlds or something in there. I don't know what his hand is. We're going to quest. If we were able to draw inkables earlier, this might have been a more exciting game. We didn't attack with the rabbits because we think he has a whole new world, and we just didn't want to give him the ability to kill the rabbit, have me draw the card, and then he just whole new worlds it away. Like, he definitely has a whole new world in his hand. And here we are again with just no real... I mean, we have 3 Arthurs in our hand. The draws here are atrocious. We can Arthur, which I like. We will kill the Robin Hood to draw another card here. And then we will pass the turn. He, I mean, he still has a whole new world. So, oh, there's the Jafar. That's what he's been waiting for. And now his combo is live. We will play the Cusco. We will quest. We will return the Cusco. We will play the Cusco. We will quest. We will return the Cusco. And then we will play the Cusco. Unfortunately, this all might have been too little too late. We were I think we should just play the Cusco. No, we should ink the Cusco and play the Benja. Unfortunately, he is about to a whole new world and draw 7 cards. Gain 7 lore. And put us in rough shape. This is actually a match we never, ever, ever lose. Unfortunately, he whole new worlds into a whole new world, and that will do it. That is our 3rd loss in a row. A combination of bad matchups and then just drawing very bad. Our deck is still 68%. So it is what it is.
Didn't want to be Irie.